is crazy to think that it's now been 2 years since we first got the announcement of the Knuckles TV show. When it was first announced, we only knew a couple of things, like Idris Elba was returning to play Knuckles, Adam Pally was going to be in it, and that the whole concept of the show would be that Knuckles agrees to train Wade as his protege and teach him the ways of the Echidna warrior. After hearing that news, everyone, myself included, seemed to be a little bit skeptical of what this series had to offer. I don't know, it was just that I think a lot of us, including myself, had expectations we could be seeing like a backstory for Knuckles, maybe including some characters who may not have the opportunity to show up in the series otherwise, like the Chaotix for example, but that seemed to be an idea that was going to be thrown out the window. Flash forward 2 years from that point, and man oh man, I can't honestly imagine anything better than this. The Knuckles TV show had its first trailer and it looks great. My expectations for this show when reading the original synopsis and just kind of feeling everything out was it's gonna be this goofy series that really won't have much to do with anything. But after watching this trailer, I'm expecting more of an action-oriented series that of course will have some lighthearted humor. Now, there are specific things about this trailer I do want to talk about in detail, so I'm not going to do a full, trailer deep dive because, to be honest with you, there's not that much to deep dive into, aside from, well, a couple things which we'll address later. It starts off with Knuckles trying to adjust to his new life here on Earth, and he really can't do it the same way that Sonic and Tails can because he still has that warrior spirit within him. He desires a battle, or desires at least seeing battles. This is the part of the trailer where we see Knuckles go off on his own on a motorcycle, also wearing the hat we see from the Sonic OVA. Before we talk about the hat, can we talk about how Knuckles is on a motorcycle right here? I don't think that's happened in any official Sonic media before, but he might just be biting off Shadow's style. I don't know guys, maybe it's just me. Nah, but all jokes aside, I think it's really cool to see the hat come back, although I'm not entirely surprised it is because there is somewhat of a resurgence of this hat just kind of being more in miscellaneous Sonic media, whether it be mobile games and the like, but still really cool to see it. In the next portion of this trailer, we see him go to recruit Wade to go on this adventure with him. We don't know why he does this, but hey, it doesn't matter. This is where the buddy comedy will come into full effect. Knuckles also says this line,
"I do not make jokes, I make warriors."
Which I personally think might just be a reference to the whole idea of he doesn't chuckle and he'd rather flex his muscles. I might be reaching, but I think it's pretty cool anyway. We find out that there will be a total of 6 episodes and there is a new villain at play who worked for Dr. Robotnik. Although we don't know the name of this new antagonist, we know that he's collecting the quills of Knuckles and using them to power old Eggman machinery as well as some of his own new machines. We see these 2 other villains attack Knuckles later on in the trailer inside of a bowling alley, and we'll talk more about this bowling alley later, but they attack him and they use a line against him that Knuckles used in the previous Sonic movie, Sonic Movie 2, where he said,
"Do I look like I need your power?"
We then see Knuckles fight against what presumably is the boss of Episode 6, the last person he'll be fighting against considering that this is the guy in the suit who is the former protege of Dr. Eggman. But anyway, it's time we go back to the bowling alley for a second with the next scene we have here that's really worth talking about, and that's seeing this Echidna who's working for the bowling alley, or in the bowling alley. Now, just looking at his design, you can easily tell that he's supposed to be a certain Sonic character that's already within the universe of the games, but upon further inspection, you can see a name tag that connects him to a character that he's supposed to look like, and that is Pachacamac from Sonic Adventure 1. Now, there were some people that had a few issues with it that I've seen on Twitter and other social media platforms as to wondering why this character is even here, because in the Sonic Movie 2, Knuckles said that his entire tribe was wiped out by the Longclaw tribe, and also this character shouldn't even be alive anyway because he existed so many years before Knuckles was alive. In the game canon, this is Tikal's father, who, if he's alive today, then where's Tikal? And also, was Knuckles lying about his entire tribe being wiped out, or did he not know? Honestly, this scene just causes more confusion than anything, but if I'm willing to guess what's happening here, which I know my guess isn't worth anything, but I'm probably gonna think that this is probably just Knuckles seeing things, or maybe being a little bit delirious in this scene, thinking that something else is happening that isn't happening. I don't think that Pachacamac is actually going to be working in the bowling alley. I think it just might be an illusion of sorts. Maybe Knuckles is seeing things wrong. Either way, I highly doubt that he's actually going to be there. Maybe this is just some sort of weird vision on Knuckles' part. If he actually is there, then I'll be more surprised than anything and curious as to what he's doing in this world, working at a bowling alley. But aside from that, there's a few action shots that kind of finish off the trailer, like for example Knuckles' fist catching on fire, which we have seen before in other Sonic media, and also him doing the drill spinning attack that we've seen in Sonic Frontiers. There's also this really interesting scene where we see some individuals dressed up like the Owl Tribe, like Longclaw, and again, I think this is just another one of Knuckles' illusions that somehow could be related to him seeing Pachacamac earlier in the trailer. Now, the trailer itself actually ends with Knuckles staying at Wade's house making coffee, and this is a huge speculation jump here, but this led me to believe that by the end of the show, we could see Knuckles possibly actually moving out of Tom and Maddie's house and staying with Wade. Now, here's why I think that. If you notice, Sonic and Tails are always kind of together. They kind of always do their own thing, and sometimes Knuckles is available, sometimes he's not. I think in this case, they might be trying to separate that three group in a way that's similar to how the games do it, where Sonic and Tails might always be around, but Knuckles may not be present. Not to mention, earlier in the trailer, Knuckles seems to be causing way more problems than Sonic and Tails ever could, like having an entire war zone in their living room. I can actually see that by the end of the Sonic movie 3, we have characters like Shadow living with Randall from the Sonic movie 2, considering that he's a gun agent, and that's what Shadow's probably going to end up being by the end of the movie. The reason why I bring that up is because I think there'll be a natural distribution of how the characters will be living with other actual people if this series continues on. But that's pretty much all I have to say in regards to the Knuckles series trailer. Will you be watching it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel. Also, it wouldn't hurt to turn on the post notifications bell, that way you never miss a video from me. You guys do not want to miss what I have to say. But with all that being said and done, this is your boy Sonic signing out. Have a super blessed day, y'all.
Why are you playing that trash?